Hi everyone, it's me again. I'm Alan. Nice to meet you all again. Today we have a new guest speaker, Georgia. She's currently staying in UK and she's going to study in the Bristol University of West of England, the primary education section. So let's welcome her. Hi Georgia. Hello.
Hi,
Hi, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Hey, good. I'm doing great, thank you. So we have just watched the videos of yours. They're really interesting. Thank you so much. You have actually shared the two topics. One is how to find the right university in UK, and the second topic is how do you survive from the remote learning in the past 2 years? Well, I mean during the COVID period. So in this video, let's firstly talk about how do you find the right university. And this part, I'm really interested about it. So before we start, Georgia, could you please introduce yourself a little bit more?
My name is Georgia. I'm 19 years old and I came to the UK to study. I left Hong Kong when I was 16 so I can come here to do my A levels for my love and passion of drama. And then I took a gap year and then I'm going to study at Bristol in September.
Yeah, oh, very soon. But as I said that you are going to study primary education in
Yeah.
September, and then you also mentioned that you chose to study in UK because of your interest in theatre and arts.
Mhm.
My question is, why would you choose education instead of a theatre and arts?
Um, For the 2 years in my A level school, I got really stuck into drama and I put myself towards everything that I could. And I don't know how, but I suddenly lost a bit of um, my love for drama as COVID happened because I
Mm,
wasn't doing it and I wasn't able to participate in much. And then I took my gap year because I didn't know what to do.
mm.
And I love teaching, so I decided to go into teaching.
Oh, do you have any teaching experience before? Like
Yeah.
private tuition?
So my gap year was from August till July in a boarding school, in a
Mm,
primary boarding school,
right.
and I lived there. I looked after the children. I run lessons in the boarding houses. You know, you'd have to say goodnight to them, and you just a part of their
Mm,
life, really.
yeah. But how do you get this job? Like, do you search this job through online or a newspaper, or you got some referral from friends?
My One of my teachers at school knew that I was kind of looking for something to do in the gap year, and she
Right.
suggested to try out for this school called Hazel Grove,
Oh.
um, Somerset, sorry, Yeovil, and I decided to apply for it, and we had to have a video chat like this, an interview, and then you heard back maybe a month after, and I it wasn't the only job I applied for. I applied for maybe 2 other schools as well, but
Mm.
just everything like the contract and, the lifestyle at Hazel Grove seemed the best.
Right. It is difficult to get this kind of job there in UK. I bet it. How long? Well, just oh yeah, yes, you said you wait for like a month time, right?
Yeah,
Well, that's quite fast. 1 month
it is.
time, and
I'm
you
just
got a
really
job. Yeah. Okay. So, um, while you're choosing your right university, do you have any top three criterias, or how would you prioritize the criterias in choosing your university?
The first one that I would look at is, the accommodation at the uni, so where you'll be able to stay.
Mm,
And I
mm,
could probably speak for a lot of international students and say that where you stay at uni, that's your home. So obviously you'll want to love your accommodation. You don't want to go somewhere that you won't love because you live there.
mm,
Uh, so that's maybe number one. Maybe number two would be the support they provide, because I struggle with dyslexia, and
mm,
I would, appreciate support that the uni could provide for me so that I can create the best papers and the best assignments that I can. And then number 3, probably the course, so the overview of what the course is. Primary education is a very universal subject, so it's very much the same in every uni. It's just what they offer within the course. And Bristol offer it's called a sandwich year, and you can go away for a year and teach in a different country, like South Africa, or I'm not sure if Japan, I think, not sure, but you're able to do that within your 4 years of studying. So I thought that was really cool.
Oh, so 4 years studies in UK, but then there's 1 year gap year for you to go to do a practicum, like a
Yeah, so
training
it's
in the
a 4-year
school.
course, and then you can do your abroad year if you want. You don't have to.
But that options is free to choose, or it has to be kind of partner countries to your university.
Yeah, the university only provide like 3 countries. You can't.
Oh, okay. Is that a paid job? Is it a paid training or?
Actually sure. I think it's more for experience, so probably very low pay or none at all.
Is this easy for you, or easy for international students to apply for any scholarship in
Um,
advance?
I know I didn't apply for any scholarship, but I know a
Right.
friend who did, and she said it was just the same as being a UK national. It was straightforward. She thought it was great, and then she got the scholarship. So
And the scholarship will be based on your academic results in Hong Kong.
um, if you do IB in Hong Kong, then yes. But then if you do A levels, then it will be based off A levels.
Ah, okay, cool. So you mentioned there's an interview during the process, like the admission process. What kind of presentation do you need to present to the other international students? Is it
Uh,
international students or the same course student?
Same course students.
Ah, okay.
So for us, because of COVID, they couldn't hold face-to-face interviews. This was from November till about March, where the interviewing times were. Um, they, because I got an interview from all 5 of the unis that I applied for,
Wow.
and they were all very different. So I'll probably just talk about Bristol's.
Okay.
Bristol asked me to make a presentation, a 5-minute presentation on something to teach the other people in the interview online. So I decided to choose like a little 5-minute Chinese Mandarin lesson because I thought it was quite cool. And then there were some people that did like a French lesson. There was someone who um, taught you how to play football, like a rule.
Wow.
So it was very diverse, and you could just do what you want. And then they also asked you, not during the interview, but beforehand, to they gave you like an article, and then you had to like reply to the article, and then you'd send them the document.
Also, it's like an essay.
Yeah.
How long is it? Not 1,000 words, right?
The Bristol one was like 500 to 700 words, so not too
Okay,
much.
not too much. Okay, okay. And you spend how long did you spend to prepare for the whole admissions process?
Um, what, for Bristol or for like everything?
For everything.
You use something called UCAS, like
Right.
UCAS,
Yeah.
and it's quite a long process in the beginning because you have to put in all your details, like where you've lived for the past 5 years. And as an international student, then it was quite hard because then you can claim to be a UK citizen, and obviously the fees are quite a lot cheaper because an international student is quite
Mm.
expensive. And then you have to ask someone to write a recommendation letter. You have to write a personal statement, which has to be 47 lines long. So it's very specific.
47 lines long.
Yeah, and it's a personal statement is basically you selling yourself to the uni,
Right.
like what I do here, what I love, my experience. And so
Yeah.
what I found tricky was putting everything I wanted in 47 lines.
Yeah, exactly. Do you
Yeah.
get any like external education consultant on that, or you have a school council before?
No, I did it on my own. I asked my sister for some help, but that's about it.
That's what is really tough. You have to do it all by yourself.
It was all right. It was all right.
Have you make a plan, like a really detailed plan, step by step about your career? Like, okay, after that, where would you like to teach? You like teach Hong Kong, UK, or somewhere else?
I have no clue. My course gives me an ITE, which is a specific teaching qualification,
Right.
and it allows me to teach in the UK. But I can do, so you know how you can do like a master's after your degree?
Right.
You can do something called a PGCE, and that's like a teacher's master's.
Right.
And that means it's like a very universal degree, so it's very known around the world. So I want to do that so that I can teach anywhere. And I think I'd love to teach in Japan because I think it's a lovely area, or I'd stay here and teach. I'm not sure I'd go back home.
Right. But that is the qualification um accredited in Hong Kong as well, like just general question. For example, after you graduated from UK, I mean not the master, I mean your first degree. Will that be
I don't
accredited?
think,
No. So you have
no,
to
I
actually
don't think,
did another exam here in Hong Kong in order
mm,
to qualify to as a Hong Kong teacher.
yeah.
How about Japan? For example, Japan, do you need another exam to teach in Japan?
Probably,
Um,
which is why the PGCE would just be best because you can go anywhere.
So thank you so much, Georgia. I think we will stop here first because we were going to have the second video about your experience in surviving from the COVID situation, especially in the remote learning.
Yeah.
And I will see you all later in the next video. And if you have any comments, please write something down there, and then we will reply you as soon as possible. Thank you so much, Georgia. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.